I find the truth, I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. I see with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out, slowly feel all that's around you, all that you feel, all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite, yeah, when we unite, oh, we unite, yeah, yeah, when we unite, yeah, yeah. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. You are welcome here.
Yes. You are welcome here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good day to you, wherever you are at this very moment in time. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to yourself so you can listen. And when you listen, you are transformed. The opening song, the theme song is John Stringer. You are welcome here. I am Ade Anifowoshe, Ademola Anifowoshe, your transformational agent, here to support you on your transformational journey. Thank you for being here and listening to another episode of Ade Presents, bringing you the journey back to yourself. This is season 3. Hey, Luke, how are you doing? Season 3, episode 18. Today's Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. You know what that means. May the force be with you. It's always with you anyway. So just say amen, because it's always with you. We're getting ready to, this month is a new theme, and say my name. What does your name mean to you? Who named you? Why did they name you that? Or are you just saying, I don't know, it's just my name, it don't mean nothing? Well, we're going to get into all of that, and we're asking, is my name safe in your mouth? And then there's a little twist, which we won't talk about right now. Yes, being you is an invitation for you to take a look at yourself. See, how do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? How do you see the world? How do you see yourself in the world? And how do you see the world in you? It's one and the same. And so, yeah, I told you that the theme is say my name. And, you know, you may associate that to Destiny Child's, but it's deeper than that. There's so much more. Say my name. No, I won't do that right now. You have to pay to hear me sing. I mean, come on. I can't be giving everything away. But anyway, so we're starting this month off right. And I need to make a special announcement, so I need everybody to listen. Well, because we're doing this thing called Say My Name. Leslie, Angela, and Nicole, they came together and they decided they wanted a new name. So they decided to embrace the name Spirit has given to them. So now Leslie, slow down. Leslie, Angela, and Nicole, now they go by a new name that resonates with their soul, with her soul, Satima, Satima. So, Kwali, you got to update your stuff, whatever you need to update. We want to invite you to join us on our main Facebook page. The Being You page is facebook.com Being You Podcast, facebook.com/Being You Podcast. For more interactive experiences, you can also join us on YouTube, youtube.com/LC Radio, LC Radio, especially if you want to see Rev D. On Instagram, you'll hear Rev D, but you won't see her. But if you want to see Rev D and myself, then go to facebook.com/Being You Podcast page, or go to YouTube, youtube.com/LC Radio. Quick announcement, lipsyn.com. If you're thinking of starting a podcast, or maybe you have a podcast and you're looking for a podcast site, lipsyn.com. They have many great services. I partner with them. So make sure when you do go and sign up, use a promo code ADE, ADE. Now, when you sign up, don't sign up on the first of the month. You can sign up any other days. If you sign up on what's today? Today's the 4th. If you sign up today, the force will definitely be with you. So you will have the whole of May free and the whole of June free. So that's a special perks you get. But you're definitely guaranteed to get a whole month free. Make sure you use the promo code ADE. Every Wednesday, Ricky Bias, my dear friend, and myself, we host a show called Soul Fulfilling on Facebook and YouTube. Every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and that's 2 a.m. UK time. Check it out. You can go to youtube.com/Ricky Bias. That will you catch the archive. And I want to tell you about representing our ancestors, representing our stories. Yeah. So this is something that I got last year. The Spirit gave to me. And now is in session. We had our first gathering April 24th. If you missed it, you can still join us for the second one and the third one. The first one, we did a grief ritual, which was pretty powerful. And for me, this work I am being pulled by a vision. And I am very clear. I'm at a point in my life where I feel like if we are not acknowledging, on a heart level, our ancestors, we might start considering it. For me, I know that it shifted me on such a deep level. We talk about wholeness and oneness. If you really want to know what wholeness feels like, looks like, expresses like, start connecting with your ancestors. There are many ways to do it. You can join us May 15th. This session, we're going to be telling a new story, not just stories that you've made up, not just stories of what happened to you, but a deeper story, a new narrative to what it means to be Black in this world, what it means to be an African, what it means to be a human being, what it means to be a spiritual being who is here to do great things. And things may be the way they look right now, but this is why you're here. You're here to amplify the love, the truth, so that we can balance this scale and not having to keep saying, what's going on in the world? You need to be going on. So we don't have to ask that question. May 15th. And then the last one is June 19th, where we are creating, downloading, expressing a vision of a new generation. For the next session, the website address, the place to go to, the link is bit.ly represent stories, bit.ly/represent stories. That will take you to the page and you can register now. It's a 3-hour session, starts at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and 6 p.m. UK time. All the information is on there. Check it out. Rev D's back with us. I am moving this on fast because we want to get to it. So much to take in, and I'm in an interesting place. So I know that Rev D is going to come in here and do some soul surgery. So I'm definitely ready for the work. I'm ready for what's about to happen. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, maybe one or two of you that don't know, let me tell you a little bit about Rev D, Reverend Deborah L. Johnson as well, but we call her Rev D, and you can too. Reverend Deborah L. Johnson, that's Deborah with an H, L. Johnson is a lifelong social justice activist with a passion for healing social, political, and cultural divides. Founder of Inner Light Ministries, board member of the Pachamama Alliance, and founding member with Michael Bernard Beckwith of Agape International Spiritual Center. She's the author of The Sacred Yes and Your Deepest Intent. And if you have your deepest intent, or any of them, just keep them by your side because we might reference them. Her website address is deborahLjohnson.org. Deborah, as I said, DEBORAH Johnson.org. And you can find her on Facebook, Instagram. She's Googleable. So you just Google her name. Even if you put Rev D, she's probably the only Rev D. I know a couple, but she'll be the first one because I say so. You know who I am? Ade means king. Well, it means crown, but there's more to that. So as a king, as a crown bearer, I can say things and it becomes so. I ain't showing off. I'm just telling you the way it is. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, psychics and skeptics, physical beings and non-physical beings, help me welcome my sister, my mentor, my friend, myself, Rev D. Hey, Rev D. Oh, you're muted. I'll take that moment to welcome Marianne, Quali, New Jays. Hello. Welcome.
Hey, how are you doing?
I am wonderful, and sort of tender, but I was like, oh, I'm tender today. Rev D's in the house. It's on. I'm ready for this session. Anyway, how have you been?
I've been good. It's a lot. Life is a lot for sure.
Yes. Life is a lot. Yes, life is a lot. So you got to jump in because you got to leave soon. Let's talk about that for a minute. From your perspective, when you say life is a lot, what do you mean? Oh, I think, am I frozen or Rev D's frozen? Me? Rev D. Rev D's frozen. Okay. All right. Life is a lot and life is trying to get in the way. All right, let's see. Oops. Oh. Satima. Divine order. So we'll bring Rev D back. Oh, I think she's back now. Yep. Nope. Yep, she's back. There we go. Welcome back.
See,
we got you now.
It's not synced. Okay.
Yeah. It looks a little bit fuzzy, but we'll work with it. I don't know if you if anyway, we're still doing something. Are you on your okay? Let's see.
In the hardline fires.
I don't know if Rev D is on hardwire. Can you find out, Satima? Find out if she's on Wi-Fi or hardwire, Ethernet cable. So anyway, yeah. So give me an opportunity to thank those of you who are here, who are listening. KS, Kimberly, Siobhan, you got to get the Sacred Yes. I'm telling you, if you don't have it, get it. If you really, Rev D and I would, well, Rev D was saying there's a lot going on right now. We're both saying it really. Your deepest intent is for a time as this. It will connect you with the answers that you're seeking. The Sacred Yes, get one of them, get both of them. And it's a way for me, for us, for me, for you to deepen the spiritual understanding. You know, sometimes we hear it in a song, we read it, and it feels good. But when you spend some time with your deepest intent or Sacred Yes, and I'm not saying this because Rev D is my mentor, and I'm saying it because she is, because that's how I found out about the book. I'm telling you, that book changed my life, and it continues to. Now, actually, what I do most of the time is just open up to a page. So, you know, there are many books out there. Let your spirit guide you to what you need. But I can stand by the Sacred Yes and your deepest intent. Rev D, we're ready? We're going to try it. Let's see. I think they're still working some things out. Internet. So, we're talking about names. What does your name mean? Who named you? Do you like your name? Does name really matter to you? Have you thought of changing your name? I mean, how important is it for people to get your name right? I laugh because, woo, Lord. I mean, I know my name is not common. Well, it's not common. Well, it's common in UK. It's not common in America, but it's very common in Nigeria. My name is like the equivalent of my name in an English country, the Western world, will be John. You know, that's how common the name is. But it's still special to me. So it's important that people say it right. So the name you give your products, your business, it's very important because names carry energy. Yeah, she does, KS. She definitely does. Okay. All right, we can bring her on. But you should be able to get your deepest Sacred Yes on Amazon. Blissful Yoga, my dear sister, is in the Bay Area. Are we good, Rev D? Yeah, you can get the Sacred Yes on Amazon, definitely. Or you can get it from Rev D, right? If they go to your website, you can go to DeborahLJohnson.org. You can get it there. Yep, Yana Van Zandt is always using it and dropping it.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes. So we have someone who's trying to get it. She said, Mama Yana teaches from it, and that's where I heard about it. Yeah, I want you to hear about it and hold about it and feel about it. You'll come back and thank me later. I promise you. So, Rev D, we ready?
Well, let's give it a whirl. Let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens, right? So, yes, I was asking you when you said there's a lot going on. There's so much going on in the world. How are you seeing it? What does it look like to you? How are you finding? Because I had this question for you a few days ago. Like, I feel like, yes, I'm grounded and I can see things from a broader perspective. But there's some things I'm just like, I don't flipping understand this. And in my head, I was talking to you. I'm like, Rev D, I don't understand. Too much going on. But how are you seeing this world? How are you viewing it? And how are you bringing yourself to the center?
Well, everybody, it's always good to be here for certain. And I can always appreciate you, Ade, for asking the hard questions and the questions that's on everybody's mind. what I would just ask everybody to remember is that it's not a random universe, and that there is an order. There's method to the madness. What I know is what needs to be healed is revealed. What needs to be healed is revealed. You know, one of the phrases that I'm kind of famous for now is feel, deal, heal. You cannot heal what you do not feel. Okay. So some of this madness is actually answered prayer. Everybody just breathe, get up off the floor, whatever you got to do. Some of it's answered prayer. Because if we're praying for transformation, if we're praying for the healing, that means everything unlike that has to come up to be healed. So when we're declaring about justice, when we're declaring about sustainability, when we're putting forth, the value of life and integrity and unconditional love, well, guess what? When you start talking about unconditional love, that's not a one-way ticket into bliss. When you start talking about unconditional love, it is a one-way ticket for you to start dealing with all of your conditions. That's what that is. Is to work through it. So it's just like when you go to the gym and you start to work out, you wind up sore because there's muscles you haven't even been using. You haven't even been using. The journey to healing isn't necessarily fun. And the healing to journey doesn't always feel good initially. Okay, the road to sobriety, you got to go through detox. Detox is a mother, and if we could make it through detox, more of us, we would have more sobriety. So what's going on with a lot of us in the world is that we're in deep detox. We are wigging out. We are wigging out. And we just have to keep breathing and remembering there's a process that's going on. There's a process that's going on. You know, when life prunes us back, don't get stuck on the nakedness of the tree. Because in its next season, it's going to blossom even fuller than it did before. So there's this ebb and this tide. There's the embrace, there's the release. It's just like breathing. There's inhalation, exhalation, and unless you're doing both, you're not really breathing. So we get this idea that life is just a forward motion, that progress is linear, that you just go from here to there, but there's nothing in life that's linear. Everything is seasonal. It's cyclical. Everything circulates around and it vibrates. So we have to develop the stamina to keep going through some of the same things over and over and over and over again, but more on a spiral, not just a loop-de-loop, but a spiral. We think mastery is when we don't have to do it anymore. Mastery is when you have so embodied it, you're not even thinking about the frequency with which you're doing it. So we got to build up the muscles to keep loving, keep forgiving, keep showing up, keep engaging over and over and over again.
Well, the show, as always, is taking a different route at some things, but there are, including myself, I might want to ask that question. As I listen to you, it's like, yes, I feel the truth. I can even say I know the truth of what you're saying. And maybe that's the thing. And there's a part of me, you probably have an idea where I'm going next. But it seems like this spiral healing is happening, especially for those of us in the brown skin, black people. We're like, it seems like it's just happening to us. Why are we the only one that needs to keep healing and keep breathing and keep loving? Now, of course, what I know for sure, what I see and experience, it's so much more than that. But America has such a loud speaker that what happens in America get broadcast into the whole world. It's easy to get distracted from our everyday human experiences and the universal suffering and pain that people are going through. But I wouldn't want to take it back to, can you speak to one of the loudest things right now is how black men, women, and children are still being killed. Now, that's what's making the news, and I get that too. But there are some people who are just saying, yeah, that's what's making the news because that's the only thing happening. With what you just said, that we're here, it's an answered prayer to heal what wants to be healed. But damn, do we all have to die for the healing to happen?
Take a breath. Take another breath. Everybody just keep breathing. Okay? It is extremely important that we don't do life on the triangle, the drama triangle of the victim, villain, and hero. It's one thing to be victimized. It's another to assume the identity of the victim. Victimization is designed to make you feel like a victim, so you give up your power. So that you see the villain and the oppressor as so big that you don't dare stand up against them. Once you see yourself as the victim, you've already lost. You've already lost. You got to let that sink in. Okay? And who's the victim? If we want to do the victim thing, we're not the only victims.
True.
Derek Chauvin was a victim.
You got some people put a break on when you said that, like, what? Victim how? But I know what you mean. Go ahead.
He murdered George Floyd. But he was a victim of his own oppression. He lost his own humanity.
Yes.
That closing line was brilliant. And the rebuttal of the prosecution to the defense, the last lines of the trial, is George Floyd did not die because his heart was too big. He died because Derek Chauvin's heart was too small. Okay. So when you look at what is the healing that has to happen here, this is that fight that King and Gandhi and whatnot were in. Is that the oppressors need to be saved. The victims aren't the only ones that need to be saved. The oppressors have forgotten who they are. They are in spiritual amnesia. They are scared to freaking death. They're killing us because they're afraid of dying. They're not running around and killing us, saying we're shooting these people because they did all these bad things. I fear for my life. And my life was more important than their life. They were afraid of being victims. And out of their fear of becoming the victim, they're making us a victim. So their fear of being a victim is part of this madness. Nobody wants to be the victim. And what will we do to each other to make sure it's not us? We can do better than this.
Yes. Indeed.
We can do better than this. But we're only going to do better than this when we live in the oneness. That's when we're going to do better. We're going to do better when in some deep place in our lives, we don't feel like we're better than people, nor do we feel less. And that's an inside job.
Yes.
Because the fear begets the fear. We're afraid the police are going to kill us. The police are afraid we're going to kill them. The only difference is that they've got the institutional power to protect themselves. But I'm telling you now, Ade, if the tables were flipped, if we had the institutional power with as much fear that we have that the police are going to shoot us, if we had the right to shoot them first and get away with it, there'd probably be a lot of dead police. With the preemptive strike. Listen, when I talk about the oneness, I'm talking about love. I'm not talking about the emotion. I'm talking about the agapeo love, the connection love, the oneness love. that Jesus was commanding us into. That we stay connected to the divine, to God, with all of our heart, with all of our soul, with all of our mind, and that we stay connected to each other as each other. See, when you look at atrocities, when you look at inhumanities, when you look at injustices, you are looking at spiritual amnesia. Where people have forgotten who they are.
Yes.
They're victims of their own amnesia. What we see bad things people are doing is not a measure of their goodness or their badness. It's a measurement of their ignorance or their awareness of themselves as a spiritual being. See, this idea of your name. Your name is, in scriptural context, your name is your character. Even in the secular world, when we say we're going to do something in the name of, it's to honor and to bring forth those qualities and those aspects. And a lot of traditions, and a lot of African traditions, you name the child before the child is born in communication with their soul.
Yes. Yes.
That names aren't just names, like, you know, Billy, Bob, and Sue. That the names have meaning. This is true in so many cultures. My name is actually Hebrew name. It really isn't Deborah, it's Deborah. Deborah. And it means bee, like bumblebee.
Oh.
Yes. It is the symbol and the symbolism for busy. Yeah. But Devorah means bee.
Wow.
Okay. And here's the thing. Who are you? I like the way that Howard Thurman puts it. Who are you really? Who are you really? What's in a name? What I've learned through the years is that it matters far less what you call me. What matters more is what do I answer to?
Yes.
When I hear somebody on the street shouting some homophobic something or another, I'm not turning around and just going off on them. I'm like, who they talking to?
Because I know he ain't me.
Why they got to stick up their butt? I love the way my mentor Beckwith puts it. What you say about me says more about your consciousness than my character.
Yes.
Why are you airing your dirty laundry?
Every criticism is a confession. That's right.
Every criticism is a confession. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that it's right to kill people in the streets. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that the road out of it is going to involve some things that may not be popular. The road out of it is going to be having to help the police and these people in these positions of authority to help heal their stuff. And I like the way that Martin Luther King put it. He said he wants to live a long life. Who doesn't want to live a long life? He said, But if my physical death could save my children and my white brothers and sisters from a permanent psychological death, then I can think of no other act that'd be more redemptive. That if my dying could save everybody from the psychological death that gets us into here. That's number one. And number two, everybody take a breath. You have to treat yourself the way you want to be treated. You got to treat yourself the way you want to be treated. And I am not making excuses for the police. But for every one black man they kill, 10 more have been killed by us. We're shooting each other in the street. I grew up in the Crenshaw district of LA. And very close to my family home was the home church of Bishop Blake, who up until recently was the head of the entire Church of God in Christ, the denomination that I grew up in. And they got a big sanctuary, like an 8,000 seater or so that they had built. And, you know, the celebs are going there like Magic Johnson and Denzel Washington and, you know, all them. And over their original church is this billboard. And on one side of the billboard, it looks like a funeral. Where you have 6 brothers carrying a coffin. This is the billboard. And the caption reads, "Will it take 6 strong men to bring you back to church?" I do prison outreach. And we have so internalized this victimization thing that we're killing each other. Ade, this is new. This is new. When I was born in the mid-50s, we weren't killing each other. We weren't killing each other. We weren't killing each other on the farms. We weren't killing each other in slavery. We valued our own selves. But we've bought into the devaluation of our own lives. We're acting with the internalized oppression.
Yes.
So we don't even, the cops don't even have to wait to shoot us. We shoot our own selves first. We gotta love each other. And I'm telling you what I know. That when that love gets so strong, when that sense of community and purpose and value, when a black man looks at another black man and sees a brother, sees somebody that he wants to love and uplift and share and build with and do team with and projects with and collaboration with, where he just sees himself and he's like, brother, I got your back. I ain't stabbing you in the back. I got your back. When that kind of energy permeates our very being. Oh,
Yes.
there'll be something different in our souls when our names are safe in our own mouth.
Yes.
That was the big thing around the quote unquote N word.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean? I get it. You know, I'm a diversity trainer. I understand all this stuff. But the B word, the N word, we really need to check that stuff out. You know, I told you about this thing that I read, and it's the reference point for the letter in my book, Your Deepest Intent, about your name is safe in my mouth. And in this letter, in this email that I read, it was about fourth graders, and fourth graders being asked what was love. And the description of this little boy, Billy, really hit me. He said, you know somebody loves you because they say your name different. You know your name is safe in their mouth. And I thought that was so profound. So in this spirit letter, it's posing these questions to us. Is the name of God safe in our mouth? Is your own name safe in your mouth? As Black people, is our name, the name of us and who we are as a people, is it safe?
Yes.
In our mouths? I just tell you what I know.
Yeah.
You got to stand up and love each other. When women started loving up on women with the feminist movement and demanding collectively that their love be respected and standing up for one another as women, we started to see change. But we weren't shooting each other down in the streets. Yeah, there's got to be a change. But everybody gonna have to change.
Everybody.
Everybody gonna have to change.
Yes. And it doesn't happen on the triangle. The triangle becomes a circle. The whole thing keeps going on, and everybody trying to justify their own act. And I think one of the things that I really emphasize is like we've got to understand that white supremacy, racial injustice is not the only thing going on. It's just the loudest. It's showing up. This sense of separation is showing up across the nation, across the globe in different ways. But America just have the loudspeaker. And we do it to ourselves. I do it to myself. I do it to my siblings sometimes. I stop making judgment of my brother or sisters. And we got to do the inner work.
Well, we get to control the narrative.
Yeah.
You know, why don't we talk about the community gardens that are happening in our neighborhoods?
Yes.
You know, why don't we talk about our kids that are winning the science fairs? You know, why don't we talk about the humanitarian efforts we're doing with each other? Why don't we talk about the credit unions that are helping people to gain, you know, home ownership? You know, why don't we, you know, uplift the kids now that are out of school and needing extracurricular activities and things. I remember on my block that there were a lot of kids, and two doors down, there was a family that was like a theatrical family. And, you know, we used to hold theater. There. I remember my brother being Romeo and like maybe 12 or something. It totally went to his head.
I heard the way you said that. I felt the love in your voice.
But even he will admit that. But what I'm saying is that you get more of what you focus your attention on. That's on the news because that sells.
Yes.
Because that's what we consume, because that's all we talk about. But there's so much more going on in our lives. My life ain't defined by the po-po. No, they don't get to define me, nor do they get to define my community.
Exactly.
No.
Not happening.
No. So you know what I do? When I had too much of that, you talk about Google, I get to YouTube and I watch the drum lines. I watch the historically Black colleges. I watch them show out in halftime with their bands and everything else. I watch I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta. I watch the Greek step. I watch the young people just boom, 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 going for it. I Google the child proteges, the prodigies. You know, the 6-year-old that's the wizard. You know, I tune in. I listen to Oprah stuff. You know, I look at mastery classes. I look to see what my heroes and sheroes, you know, are doing to uplift myself and remind myself of what's going on.
Yes.
You know, I got to balance Cornell West and Michael Eric Dyson with Ava DuVernay. You know, you know, but you gotta, it's a diet.
Yes.
You don't just eat fast food because it's the most stuff out there. Well, it's the same thing with social media or the news. I don't care. There's a McDonald's on every corner and 3 or 4 Wendy's and Del Tacos in between.
Right.
That doesn't mean that's all you have to eat. So feeding your mind, you're going to have to be deliberate and as conscientious.
Yes.
In feeding your mind as you are in feeding your body. There's good food out there. You just might have to work a little harder to get it.
Drive a long way to get it.
Pay a little more.
That's right.
Or grow your own. But you don't have to eat everything that's dished out.
Yes.
Just because it's making somebody else rich.
Yes. Making, yeah.
I'm just saying.
I am with you, Rev D. I am with you. I'm with you. There's a question here, but I want to say something. The question is why don't we change our talk? Why don't we change our conversation? And I get that. I'm going to throw that to you. But also what I want to say is this whole idea of internalizing any kind of oppression becomes an addiction. Because we start to define ourselves by what we've internalized. So we feed in like a drug on the things to say, see. So yeah, that's one reason why we don't change it, because we're addicted to it. That's feeding. So to do it's deep work. But I want to throw the question to you: Why don't we
become addicted to all of our thoughts?
Mm. Mm.
It doesn't matter what the thought is. The thoughts, our brains literally work that way. The thoughts that fire together, wire together. We build these strong neural pathways in the brain with all these neural synapses connectors. So literally, this is why it is done unto you as you believe. Because we are co-creating the day before it happens. We're co-creating. I just gave a sermon on this on Sunday. We're co-creating the day before it happens. We are partnering all the time with something in our co-creative efforts. What are you partnering with? Are you partnering with God and divine design? Or are you partnering with the media?
Yes.
Are you partnering with Facebook? Are you partnering with the economy? Are you like what are you perpetuating with your talk? It's just choice. That's all. When you say, well, why aren't more of us doing it? Because we're not deliberate. Because we're not making the choice. Because we're on default.
Yeah.
We're just mimicking the loudest noise, whatever everybody else is saying. We ain't woke.
Right.
We got to get woke.
And stay woke. Awake, aware.
Somebody gave me a bumper sticker that says, wake the flock up.
I know that's right. All of them. Yes. I want to go back to something you said about YouTube. And it's so easy to miss. When you talked about looking at the drum line, the heroes and the young people, the geniuses out there, Cornel West, and people doing things that doesn't actually get made, that doesn't get time of day most of the time. The more you watch that, the more we watch that, the more YouTube is going to give us another video of that. Like, because you watch Cornel West, you may want to check him out on his podcast. And because you watch that, he did an interview with the Breakfast Club. And we get more of that. But if we keep clicking the same thing, they're saying, why is this happening? Why is this happening? YouTube like, oh, it's happening because you're clicking it. Here's more.
Yes. Our information systems are mimicking consciousness.
Yes.
So we have this thing, the cloud. Nobody knows what the cloud is, but we're all trusting everything we have to it. Like it's just going to be there to retrieve whenever we want to. Well, consciousness is like that. Nothing's lost. Everything is archived in the ethers. Okay. If you access it a lot, it trends.
Yes.
If you don't, it's archived. It doesn't go away, but it's not at the front of your feed. Okay. So this is how it is with our minds. So these social media platforms are based on algorithms. So they are doing your mental work for you. And they just keep feeding you back more of what you already did, more of what you already thought, more of what you already viewed, to the exclusion of almost anything else. So if you're a constant MSNBC person, Fox News isn't even going to pop up for you.
Nope.
Or vice versa. And you're absolutely right that whatever you listen to whatever you look at, the popularity of that goes up, more likes, more people look at it, more support. So we have to put our attention where we want it to go. There's a campaign that my ministry has going on, and I invite anybody to just jump in and make it your own. Hashtag Visions Igniting. Pain pushes till vision pulls.
Yes.
So I just gave you an example of it. Is that, yeah, we can talk about the police killing us, and that needs to stop. But that also has to be coupled with our visions of how it can be. Visions of new partnerships with the police. Visions of new way, so we can decriminalize drug addiction, because it's really a public health issue.
Yes.
So where I live in Santa Cruz, we have drug court, which a whole set of people just for drug stuff.
Wow.
So you don't just get sent to prison. You get sent to rehab. You get sent to community service. You get sent to stuff that's going to rehabilitate you. What happened to peace officer? Huh? What happened to officer of the peace? Why does it have to be law enforcement?
Right.
With all of this military equipment that we have to recycle. We can shift all of this because it's just consciousness. And we're naming it.
Right.
The name isn't just a label that you put on a person. The name becomes how you respond.
Yes.
How you react. What you see. Do you label? Do you name this person good? Do you name them valuable? Do you name them whole? Do you name them equal? What do you name them? And I'm all for tough love. I'm not saying sweep stuff underneath the rug.
Right.
But if you're my son, you're my son. And I'm going to love you no matter what. Now, I made to put my foot up your butt every now and then.
Right. Yeah.
But that's because I love you. We have to love everybody. We may have to put our foot up some butts. But out of love.
Yeah.
Out of love. When I watched them handcuff Chauvin and take him away, I was wailing. When that third count came down, guilty, oh my God, I lost it. I just lost it. There was so much pain. And all I could get out was, it's the first time the police have ever been convicted of murdering us. It's 20, it was like, it's the first time. And then when I watched them take Chauvin away, my heart just bled. It was the ice in his veins throughout the entire trial. And I kept thinking to myself, what happened to this man? What happened to him? Who abused this man so much? Because hurt people hurt people.
That's right.
Hurt people hurt people. I'm not trying to say he shouldn't be accountable. But I knew when he got carted off, he was just the end of the train. Kind of like when you pick up the little petty drug dealer on the corner.
Yes.
He's not. It's like Chauvin's just the little petty drug dealer
Sacrifice
on the corner.
Yes.
Yeah, and they all threw him under the bus. But there's something bigger that's got to be dealt with, and it's got to be healed. And we won't be able to be part of the healing if we show up at the table as victims.
That's oof.
We got to show up in our power. In our power. We pay your salary.
You know, that's right. Yes.
You work for us. That's a shift.
Yeah.
We pay their salaries. We need to show up as the employer, not the victim. I'm not saying don't acknowledge the victimization.
Right.
But our role in this has to be the, oh no. We've got power. Not just you.
That's right. That's right.
And let me tell you who we are and who all you are not.
Yeah.
That's when change is going to happen.
That's the healing that wants to be birthed. That's the healing. It's like, okay, look, this is it. What's my purpose? Why am I here? What's mine to do? Look, this is it. Yeah. Thank you, Rev D. I know you got to jump off. No pun intended, but you came in here all guns blazing. Thank you.
You know, and thank you to everyone. Invite other people to look at this.
I was going to say that, like and share. Like and share.
Like and share, because
that's it.
We all need to think about this. A lot.
A lot.
So we can recalibrate to do the work that needs to be done. And let me just end you with you on this. I find it's all a lot simpler when you reduce everything down to like first grade, kindergarten, first grade, second grade. And if that were your first grader, your son and daughter, who was coming to you about, oh, the big kids are always picking on us, and the big kids are always and they're beating us up on the playground, and when they're gonna stop. You'd have to check them, wouldn't you?
Like, yep.
You'd have to go
program them.
You'd have to go, no, baby. I know. I'm not saying that they ain't picking on you. Okay, I see the black eye. I got Okay. But this narrative, you just gonna have black eye the rest of your life. If that's the narrative.
That's right.
You got to see yourself differently here. So if everything that I said sounded too woo out there, just think about what would you say to your first grader.
Exactly. Drop the mic. Thanks, Rev D.
Blessings, everybody.
Peace and blessings. See you next week, next month.
Love you.
Love you. Ah, yes. As I said, like and share. And that's important for so many reasons. Thank you, Rev D. I'm so grateful. And everybody else, your consciousness, your thoughts, whether you're like, oh, I don't know about that. Whether you're like, oh my God, I needed to hear that. Oh my God, where have you been all my life? As I think it was KS that added that. Is for two reasons that I can think of right now. Liking and share it is a way to tell the algorithms that this was great, show more of it. This was great, show it to more people. You don't even have to have the conversation with other people. Now, they may not listen to all of it, or they might get sucked in like, I don't even know why I'm watching this shit. I mean, what they're saying is true, but damn. Yeah, well, that's the word right there. This ain't half bad. Yeah, she breaking it down. They started off saying like, I don't want to listen to this, because that's the way truth is. So I encourage you. The second reason why I'm encouraging you to like and share this, we're not wrapping up yet. We still got some time. Some things I need to share with you. Like and share, and I want to share. For whatever reason, we don't get as much view counts as it used to be. Satimar, formerly known as Leslie, and I, we have tried to figure this out. There was a time where right after a show, we would have at least 150 to 200 views right after the show. Now it's like 14, 17, and we've tried everything. Well, I don't know if we tried everything, but we tried everything we can think about. But what I know is when we like and share, the algorithms ain't smart enough until they program them to say, to tell our algorithm, this is for black folks, don't share it. I don't think it's that smart yet. But really what I'm saying is the things we like and share just in social media. If you use WhatsApp, you see the same thing. When something comes through and you're trying to send it to more than one person, it tells you it's been forwarded many times. They tell you, oh, it's to avoid rumors being spread. Shut the flip up. Go sit your down. But that's okay. It's important to me that this information I will share with everybody I want to share, and I'll do it one at a time because I need information to be balanced. So we're inviting you to like and share this show and other shows and any other shows that you watch that shift your mind, that cause you to think differently, like, never thought about that. For my brothers and sisters in America, spend some time on YouTube. Maybe you're led by, let me finish what I'm saying, because I heard like, what you mean, man? We spend time on YouTube. No. Let me finish my thought before I start answering my own thought. Spend some time on YouTube watching documentaries, interviews. There's going on in the motherland. There's going on in South America in different places about issues that are important to you. Americans who've moved to Ghana, Americans who moved to Costa Rica and telling their experience, they moved to South Africa. There's Quali TV or Quali TV. You can go there now. There are different shows and documentaries that helps you to balance, to help you heal that sense of separation, to heal feeling like a victim. Because we get addicted to it. It's been said. I have been watching so many different things and I needed to do it for myself, not because of what I do. Well, it's partly because of the work I do, working with people and doing healing work, and this new gem, representing our ancestors, representing our stories. It's pulling me. Pain pushes until vision pulls. It's pulling me to expand, to expand, to expand. I'm having to go deeper into this ancestral work in a way that I can't even define. And it's just led me, one, because I can get it out if I give myself space. I'm committed. And one thing that I've learned is when you do the ancestral work and you take your attention off the fact that you want to say our ancestors suffered, they were in pain, they were lynched. Yes, that happened. But don't forget that they loved, they made love, they had joy, they dreamed, they visioned, they stayed alive long enough for you to be here today. Think of yourself right now in this moment. If you go back 12 generations, just you, it took 4,096 people for you to be here today. And if you keep going back and keep going back, you go to 20 generations, you have just a little over 1 million people that came together from different countries, different cultures, different understanding, different consciousness. I sometimes want to say consciousnesses because I think that just do it. Consciousnesses. It feels good. This is when they tell me I'm preaching, but I don't care. I'm going to tell the truth as I see it. Y'all don't hear me. No, but really, all these people coming together. They had their own experiences, yet they came together. They made love. They gave birth to your great, keep going, grandparents. And they kept passing life on. They kept passing life on. So when you think about that, if you go back 12 generations, go back 20 generations, go back 40 generations, and just calculate the people that came before you, and you're here. I mean, think about it. I don't know if I can pull up that thing. I don't know if you can do it, Satima, where we have the generations that came before us. If you can, if not, that's fine. But we are more than this. We are more than this. This month we're talking about, the theme is Say My Name. What is your name? If you don't know what your name means, look it up. If you can't find it, make it up. Your words have power. Your word has power. In the Bible, when he said in the beginning was the word and the word was with God, it's not the spoken word. The word, capital W, is expressed through your spoken words. The word is your creative power. Each and every one of us have that power to create, to recreate, to reimagine, to represent ancestors, to represent our stories. The whole thing about watching YouTube, my suggestions now, YouTube is different. But every now and then there comes those stories. And I'm like, Roland Martin, I like the perspective. Okay, let me click it. And then I click it. I'm like, okay, this is why I can't watch it anymore. Now, the information, this is not about, Rev D spoke to this. It's not about pretending things ain't happening. It's because I know bullshit is happening. Is why I need to balance my consciousness. Is why I need to feed myself things that are uplifting. I used to remember back in the day, and I don't do much of those posts anymore, but I can come on Facebook and put something silly. I remember one, maybe about 6 years ago, I post about something about, what's it called? What's that thing you put on sushi? That burns the hell out of you. Oh gosh, you tell me. Wasabi. Thank you, Satima. Now, I've tasted before and I was like, oh, hell no. I'm not doing that again. And then like 6 years ago, somewhere around that time, I was making sushi for John and Kathy's son. And I thought, well, yeah, that's a long time. I got to grow and not be so close-minded that I don't want to taste wasabi. And sushi, I'm like, not. So let me try it. So I took a little dab of wasabi, put it on the sushi, and threw it in my mouth because I'm expanding my mind and my consciousness. Like put it in my mouth, like 2 seconds later, there was some little people in the back of my throat going, yeah, that's what was happening. Yeah, you saw that. That's really weird that happened. But anyway, they were punching the living hell out of my nostrils and the back of my head. I died. I literally had no idea what was going on. For a minute, I was just like this. The point I'm trying to make is I post that on Facebook, kind of in jest. It's probably one of the most commented posts, like over 100. And people will give me, maybe you used too much. I said, yeah, well, maybe I shouldn't have used it at all. But it went on and on and on and on and on and on and on, right? What's my point? There are times I get a download. I'm like, woo, this shifted me. I posted on Facebook and I'm like, oh yeah, people are going to love this. And I get 5 or 6 or 10 people. I have other friends who say the same thing. What is it? What is it about us that we're so addicted to the drama, but the things are liberated? Which just kind of like, yeah, that was cute. That was nice. Ooh, let's move on to the real world. The real world is your world. So what is happening in your world? What triggers you? What affirms you? What calls forth the best in you? What causes you to pray? How are you naming your experiences? I had those of you who were listening at the beginning, I had an experience last night. And I'm still moving through it. In fact, I had some questions of things that I wanted to talk to Rev D about, but the show took the direction that it did take, which is what life is about. You make plans and life has its own plan. And she ended up even speaking some of the things I was going to talk to her about. However, my point I'm trying to make is I had to confront myself yesterday. And even right now, I'm kind of like, I don't say that out loud. And I think by saying it out loud, I free myself from it. And I'll share this not just to talk about me, but maybe somebody can relate to it. Maybe somebody can say, oh, I thought it was just me. Last night, there's a backstory that I won't go into now. Some of it's personal, but what I will say is I came to the realization after talking to my lady and she asked me a question and I was like, ooh, I was in tears. Because the question woke things up in me and what it was. And I was in tears because the answer that came up was something I thought I was no longer dealing with. And I realized it's still present. Like there are many times in my life where I feel like things are going great, or times when I'm trying to do something and I don't know how to get through it, or things are going great and I need to I feel life calling me up to the next level. And I get to wherever this level is. It's not a physical location. It's a place in my consciousness where I feel like I don't know how to get through this obstacle. I don't know how to get around it. I feel immobilized. I feel like, and then I sort of pull back and sort of get numb, hoping, wishing that things would change outside of me, that maybe something would happen, feeling like a victim. And hopefully there'll be a hero to help me, because life itself is a instigator that is causing me to feel victimized. And yesterday I had to confront that belief I've been carrying for such a long time. Some of you who've been listening to the show for a while have heard me say it. It's like, I always feel like I can't breathe, as Rev D said. I carry this belief that I can never have what I really want. Like it almost seems like it's always one step ahead. I get close and it moves. I get close and it moves. And I'm still moving through. And when I say moving through it, I've accepted it. And my lady said to me yesterday, she said, what if what you think you're not able to do to get to this next level is not for you to do? She didn't even need to explain it. That just was another, because what that brought up for me was, I wasn't planning to talk about all of this. In that moment, I realized that I'm being asked to surrender in a deeper way, in a new way, in a way that I've never surrendered before, because expansion is happening and it scares the shit out of me because it feels like death. So she asked that question again, and I just started crying because it's like, I want to surrender, but I'm afraid. Healing is messy. Freedom is messy. Liberation is messy. And it's not for a chosen few, like the Mandelas, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa. No, we just got to be willing to confront the part of us, the aspects of us that's afraid, and not internalize what was already internalized. Internalizing the internalized oppression. And it's a good segue to talk about representing our ancestors, representing our stories, a 3-part series. The first one we did April 24th, we worked on grief. Pretty powerful. It has shifted me. This next one we're doing, May 15th, is we're telling a new story. To find out more, go to bit.ly/represent stories. This work is bigger than me. I feel my ancestors calling me higher. In some places, I feel excited. Sometimes I get scared. I get scared because, yes, I'm a Nigerian. And when I grew up in Nigeria, I didn't learn about ancestors. I started to learn about my culture, my ancestors, when I moved to America. So I sometimes go through, am I qualified? Am I qualified? But my ancestors live in me. Of course I'm qualified. I've gotten readings of what is being asked of me. I'm so grateful I surrendered. This is not just about me. We're in this together. Representing your ancestors, representing your stories, is the healing that you are asking for, that the world is asking for. What I'm finding is the ancestral work takes you to a place in your mind that is beyond your conscious mind. You start to learn and familiarize yourself with the unconscious aspect of yourself. Sometimes we talk a lot about the subconscious mind, and in your subconscious mind, there's, lack of love, or just negative things. But in your subconscious mind, in your unconscious mind is where the truth of God is. The truth of your ancestors, they live in you anyway. So as you do the ancestral work, and it just doesn't have to be woo-woo, just have a picture of your mother if she's not here, of your grandparents, your great-grandparents, whoever you have. Don't tell me, and I say it that way, I am not interested. I understand it, but I'm not interested. Well, I don't know where I came from. You are where you came from. You are it. Go do your DNA test, and they'll tell you. But it's not, they didn't find that out once they did the test. Intellectually, you were able to make that connection, but that's you. There's a genetic bonding to those who came before you, whether you know them. I can only go as far back as my grandparents. I don't even know my grandfather or my mother's side. And well, actually, both grandfathers, I don't know. After that, my father doesn't even remember his grandparents' name. And people say, oh, you're from Nigeria. Oh, you can trace your ancestry. Okay. There are some people in America who can trace their ancestry further down, further up, further back than I could ever. I don't have pictures, none of that. But we don't need pictures because we are the picture. We are the selfie of our ancestors. When you look in the mirror, before you take that picture, you're looking at those who came before you. And you've always been here. I invite you to join us for representing our ancestors, representing our stories. This first go around is for Black people only. It's a place for us to get together to balance our consciousness, our mind. I feel and sense that it's going to be more and expand. I don't know. It's pulling me forward. And I'm not going to do what I've done before. Like, think, oh, I know how this is going to play out. I asked a question a year ago, what can I do during when George Floyd was killed and the protest was going on? And I feel like I can add more to it. I went to sleep and it came in a dream vision. And here we are a year later, around the time when the trial is ending, kind of. And he was murdered May 25th. We're doing the next one on the 15th. The last one this go around is June 19th. Juneteenth. If you don't know what Juneteenth is, Google it. It wasn't planned. I was planning to do this in January, February, March. And then I couldn't do it then. I said, I'll do February, March. You know, I was getting all intellectual about it. And then after a while, I'm like, okay, I got to do this. I got a grant for it. I got to do it. And it worked out. And yes, the grief ritual that we did is recorded. You can purchase it. You can go to my website, lifecoachade.com, send me a message. And Pat, I'll get back to you. I haven't forgotten you. I got your email. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones. And is my name safe in your mouth? Is your sibling's name safe in your mouth? Is God's name safe in your mouth? What is your spiritual identity? You have a spiritual identity. Who are you? Beyond being melanated, beyond being white, beyond being Jewish, Christian, Muslim, or maybe you practice it for whatever you practice or don't practice, beyond all of that, beyond trying to elevate from the 3D to tap into 5D so I could just, beyond all of that, who are you? There's so much more in us that is seeking to be birthed. And we are incubating the healing that the world is asking for. And if you think you don't have what it takes and you're giving yourself excuses why you can't do it, that's an indicator that you're the one. And yes, it's going to be scary sometimes. Sometimes your voice is going to shake. Sometimes you're going to feel vulnerable. That's when you know you're doing something. And you're not doing it to prove a point to anybody. You're doing it because you're saying yes to your life. That's total fulfillment. I told another friend about representing our ancestors, representing our stories. Feels to me like it's the combination of all the work that I've been doing. Yeah. So once again, please like and share and tag people. Let them know about this. And also go to my website, even if you don't have a question, lifecoachade.com, lifecoachade.com. Sign my mailing list because this is a movement in consciousness. You know, I really pride myself. I see myself like that, and that's all that matters because my name is safe in my mouth. I pride myself in supporting people to elevate. So if there's something that you're doing that you're afraid of and you don't know how to get it out there, let's talk. Let's see what is possible. If you're trying to start a podcast, I consult and help people start their podcast. I produce podcasts. I edit. What is your story? Your story is needed. The world needs your story. So go to lifecoachade.com, sign the mailing list. Maybe you know somebody. Maybe you have a friend, a family member who's doing something that you know the world needs to hear, but you're trying to get on CNN and you're not getting a call back. See, that's some of the other things that we get wrong. We think we have to go to these major places. I'm telling you, don't take the whole world to bring healing about. It takes, what's that quote that I have on my email? Mead, what's her name? Sometimes when you're doing something live like this, in the moment, it just doesn't even come out. So I'm just going to read it. Okay, so Margaret Mead. I have this on my signature. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. It is the only thing that ever has. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Margaret Mead. We talk about the 1%. The 1% and 99% of his suffering. 1%. Small group of thoughtful people. We may not like the way they're thinking. Some of them may be philanthropists, but I digress. So, but a group of people coming together, focused consciousness is neutral. It's like fire. You can cook with it, you can warm yourself up with it, or you can burn a house down. You can set yourself on fire. Fire will burn. It just needs you to add what it needs, the resources to keep burning. So gather, come together with some thoughtful, committed group of people. We can change this around. And it's not just about America. I know most of my listeners and listen to America, and I have to keep saying that there's a lot more going on in the world. Pledging allegiance is an affirmation that sometimes causes people not to really see that there's other countries other than America. Some people travel outside of America and it's like, oh my God. There's this thing called entitlement. I thought it was just white people. I think I have some of that. It's not a judgment. Sometimes, all the time, most times, we need to see how we're showing up in the world, because sometimes how we're showing up, and when I say we, I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about we's, all the us's, all of us that are united in spirit. When we see how we're showing up, we sometimes might get to see while we're creating what we've created. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Check out Rev D's website. Check out innerlightministries.org, innerlightministries.org. That's a spiritual center. She broadcasts on social media, Facebook and YouTube. And her personal website is Deborah L Johnson.org. Deborah with a H, ljohnson.org. Get the sacred yes, your deepest intent. And for whatever reason, you say, I can't get it right now because I don't have the money. There's something you can do. You can just get still and say, God, what is mine to do today? Everything, any thought that you got today that shifted you, that made you go, ooh, I needed this. Oh, that's so true. Don't just go into, ooh, that's so true. I invite you to translate that into action. Do something today, tomorrow, the next day. Do it for 21 days. Do it for 30 days. That is influenced by the shift in your consciousness. Have a conversation, journal about it, write about it, post about it, Google that thing to see what you can learn more about the shift that happens. So when as the shift happens, there's a part in your heart and your mind is open. And the minute you talk about it, you write about it, you meditate on it, you pray about it, you Google it, you're strengthening it like you're going to a gym. And that muscle, you won't be so afraid to speak the truth anymore. You won't be so afraid to call out people when they need to be called out. You won't be so afraid to be the only one saying the most unpopular thing when it needs to be said. You won't be the only one. You won't be afraid to just stand out and say, oh, I don't care if y'all don't want to talk to me, but I got to speak the truth. But you're not doing it from a place of, fuck y'all. You're saying, this truth needs to be spoken. Not for anybody else, but for the liberation of my soul. So I get to make sure that my own name is safe in my name. That when I think about myself, when I think about the life that I lived on this planet, I can quietly say, you know, I gave it my all, or I did my best. I lived. I got some regrets, but really, it's not a big deal because there's no way I was going to get it all done anyway, but I gave it my best. And when you can look at yourself, not before you die, today, and you can say, you know what? I feel good. Like you're having a conversation with your heart, with your soul, with your spirit. There are things I'm working through. There's some things that I've judged about myself, but I can really say that I feel good about what I'm doing. I'm not pranking myself. I'm real honest with myself that, it's been tough. It's been challenging. I've wanted to give up. There are many things that I promised that I haven't done, that I keep saying I'm going to do it, or haven't figured out how to do it. I don't have everything I need or think I want. But I'm grateful for my life. Your name got to be safe in your mouth. And when your name, when your spiritual identity, when your nature, when your character is safe in your mouth, you obviously clearly have a different relationship with God. Then God's name is safe in your mouth. So there's no need to say, God's going to get you, because God don't get nobody. God embraces us all. Whew, I am wrapping this up. It's time to grow. It's time to go. I want you to know I love you. I bless you. I appreciate you. And I thank God for you. Once again, I strongly recommend, suggest, invite you to join us for the next Representing Our Ancestors, Representing Our Stories. Check it out. Share with your friends. Share with your group. It's going to be online. It's 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UK time. If you missed the first one, it's fine. Those of us who showed up for the first one, we had you in consciousness because we're not separated. So go register bit.ly/represent stories. My dear brother friend Musanko will be joining me. Last month I had Michelle Jordan from the Bay Area. This one we're going to have Musanko, who is he lives between America and Malawi in Africa. And then the third one, it will be a vision for a new generation. And it's going to be Musanko, Michelle, and I. 3 hours to do some soul work, to tap into wholeness, and to know and remember that we are not alone, that we are enough. And you carrying stories. You're packed, loaded with indigenous wisdom. Your ancestors live in your body. Every cell in your body is an ancestor. Kaya said, thanks, Coach Ade. This has been yummy spiritual food. I'm supposed to be working from home. Oops. I needed this for me. Blessings and love. Blessings and love to you, my sister. Blessings and love to you, Pat. Blessings and love to Risa, Marilyn in Canada. That other place that I can't pronounce. I have to say it real slow, so I won't even try. Kwali, thank you. Cherise. Who else? New Jays and other people that commented. Pam. There's a lot of other people that are listening that are not sharing them. Yeah, some of you are not sharing. It's fine too. I mean, it's not like I'm calling you out or anything. Satima, formerly known as Leslie, thank you for holding it down. Woo, woo. You want to come in and say something? Since I want to say your name and you're making a neat Oh, I'm putting you out. Is it Aries in me? Oh yeah. You want to come on? If you want to come on, click in and say something. But if not, it's fine too. No?
Hello.
She's here. She's like, oh, he's challenging me again.
Again, like that's how it happens. So
Thank you. And I want to honor you, really. I wasn't thinking about this, but I want to honor you for your courage to kind of really live into your spirituality. To say, yes, this is the name my parents gave me, and now I'm listening to something deeper. And now I'm going by Satima because I'm choosing that for me. And you and I had the conversation. You're like, sure, if you want to say it out loud, it's fine. I'm like, okay, cool. And I love that. So anyway, anything you want to add, share? Because this has been, it's healed me from the stuff I went through last night.
Yeah, no, I mean, kind of just to the point of, we talk about this all the time. The things that we talk about or teach are things that we really need to learn for ourselves as we're on our journey of self-love and remembering and finding our wholeness, So as we're doing this work on with the ancestors, stuff is coming up for me. So, you know, the same way that the final gathering is on Juneteenth, I think it's incredible how I had this, you know, yes, I'm going to change this name that I've been holding on privately. Like, this is my ascension name, right? This is my private name. Kind of, is it safe in your mouth, right? Like, I didn't know, I didn't trust that. But it's like, if I really held on to the energy of what my name means, it wouldn't matter who was saying it. I would have that resiliency, that inner silence, that strength, that presence to be like, that doesn't even matter. Kind of what Rev D was saying. What am I responding to? I don't need to respond to their negative energy if that's the case. So I could just stay focused on mine.
Look over here, bit. Look over here. Like, no. What you don't know is she's a performer too, because the camera is kind of like over here, because I want people to feel your personality. Yes, it is. And, you know, and that for me is my name, your name being safe in your mouth, my name being safe in my mouth. And it's an interesting thing, because, you know, I told you about my name, Ade Presents. I'm like, I'm not using all of that because people can't pronounce it right or whatever. But I understand sometimes people have that, you know, but we're here to really, it's what we teach is less about the people that are listening, as you said, but more about me, you, those of us who are teaching the lesson. So anyway, thank you. So the next one, representing our ancestors is May 15th. Don't run away. May 15th, and it's 1 p.m. Eastern. I know you're in the Central Time Zone, so that's 12 p.m. your time. And yeah, May 15th. And then the one after that is June 19th, Juneteenth. So thank you. Leslie, I know you popped out. You want to say any closing words?
No, thank you all. It's great. Looking forward to the rest of this month. Carry on. I'm running away again. Oh, yeah, and may the fourth be with you. Y'all need to use the force. Y'all need to use the force.
Move to your right a little bit. There you go. Right.
Okay. May the fourth be
all
with you.
All right, Satima. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's time to release this conversation. Join us and create yours if you need to. Doesn't matter. The healing is in motion. And Marilyn, yes, I will do more videos of the ocean. Hopefully I will. Well, I don't know what's going to happen. Thank you. I think that's it. What do I need to do? I think it's here. Okay, got it. I see what I need to do. All right, beautiful people. Once again, I love you. I bless you. I appreciate you. And I thank God for you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for who you're being in the world. Peace and blessings. Check out my website, sign the mailing list, lifecoachade.com. I'm out.
Be who you are. Let your light shine.